Yes, sir. Very good morning to all the participants and the experts from Plus Advanced Technology here on behalf of Murugappa Polytechnic and on behalf of the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I'm having great pleasure in welcoming all the experts from Plus Advanced Technology and all the participants from all over the country who joined and to join the session. So at the outset, we would like to thank the team at Plus Advanced Technology, Mr. Samit Jain, MD of Plus Advanced Technology, and Mr. Nidhi Agarwal, Head R&D, and Praveen Das, VP Business Head, and Jain and Vishnu Sudarshan sir, VP Business Head. Those who readily accept our invitation to deliver a 1 week FDP to interested participants. On behalf of Murugappa Polytechnic and on behalf of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, we extend our heartiest thanks to the team Plus Advanced Technology. And also thank Mr. Amar Ratan, who is going to be the speaker on today's session. Welcome you, sir. I don't want to take much time. Let me, now the Vishnu Sasidharan sir will introduce the speaker to us, and following that, the speaker will start the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation and present here for the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shekhar. Amar, can I request you to share the presentation? Amar, could you share? Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Vishnu.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Amar. Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure to be here today. I am Vishnu Shashidharan. I lead the Climate Technologies vertical at Plus. First, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Shekhar and the faculty coordinators of the CSET facility at Murugappa Polytechnic College for giving Plus this opportunity to address such an enthusiastic group of faculty and research. Let me quickly introduce you to Plus Advanced Technologies, and Dr. Amar Ratan could take over after that. Plus Advanced Technologies was incorporated in 1994 and started with R&D and manufacturing of specialized polymers. And we pioneered in the thermal energy storage materials since 2007. Our innovative solutions enable sustainable cooling and heating, helping reduce energy consumption and dependency on fossil fuel-based systems. Plus believes in collaborating closely with academia to develop cutting-edge materials that find applications across sectors. Phase change materials today are affecting sectors such as pharma, logistics, food, cold chain, and the built environment, and many more. Our efforts align with solving global challenges by delivering solutions which are locally manufactured, and we take pride in enabling sustainability while creating green jobs and fostering innovation. Our work is driven by a passionate bunch of team. In the course of the next 5 days, they would be taking you through various case studies of phase change materials, and we would be happy to answer any of your questions, and please feel free to post your queries on the message. With this, I would like to introduce you and to Dr. Amar Ratan and hand over the session to him, who will dwell deeper into the introducing phase change materials technology and how it adds value. So over to you, Dr. Amar.
Thanks, Vishnu, for the introduction of Plus to the esteemed faculties. So I'll take you to the which is known to everyone, the phase changing materials. So I'm basically giving you a refresher about what are PCMs and how can they add value. Since I got this opportunity to interact with all the faculty members of engineering department of different groups from all over India. So I'll be having some basics of PCMs that will also help you to understand the upcoming sessions revolving around different applications of phase changing materials. So it's something like a refresher to have an introduction of the PCM materials, so we can go on with the different speakers on different days to have a quick understanding of PCM. So basically, I'll go into the introduction and the thermodynamics of PCM. So I believe that we all have that basic, like in our 10th, 12th, 11th standards, we have gone through the thermodynamics laws and latent heat and everything. So it's just a refresher for everyone to circulate back. So the types of PCMs and different applications, how can they add value to the engineering aspects or innovation aspects? So basically, phase changing materials undergo a phase transition from solid to liquid or vice versa. So like a normal example is having a ice. So ice and water. So we use it in our daily to-day life, that using to having a cold drinks or something, we use that ice cubes to it. So it's nothing that is a phase changing material. So the heat is the energy is stored in the form of ice, and it keeps on dissipating and keeps our drinks or the liquid material or some solid material on a cooler side. So it's something like thermal energy transfers occurs when the metal changes from solid to liquid or from a liquid to solid phase. So the thermodynamics of PCMs are like basically the latent heat of fusion. So it is something like the amount of heat required to change the state of a substance from solid to liquid, and it is the melting point without a change in temperature. So it's something like the hidden energy in the materials. Next one was this. Every materials have some history, and the most utmost history is the water. So everything has to be discovered. So there's a scientist in the University of Edinburgh, Joshua Berg. So black. So he's discovered this type of phase change materials in the form of carbon dioxide. Like we can also go for the dry ice thing. So he discovered the hidden energy in the form of latent heat. So you can see the late back in like 17th, 18th centuries. So there comes the chemistry background inventor, based in the MIT, USA. So she worked on the first heat batteries and the phase change materials in depth. So these are the two major scientists who were involved in the discovery and making applications out of this PCM materials. So I will say that it should be like the one of the refresher. So what is the difference between a sensible heat and latent heat? You will be going through this term in the next 5 days, so many times, because everything depends upon the sensible heat and latent heat. So we can definitely see that the sensible heat refers to the heat you feel, like how it's something like it can be measured, like how much Fahrenheit is there, how much Celsius is the heat, but it's something which goes in the background, which is the hidden thing. This is the latent heat, which is the hidden part, and we use this as application in different field. It's a like energy which is basically done for the change of state of an element, which cannot be measured. That it is not a like measurable quantity, so it's something like hidden. So in this case, PCM application depends upon both the sensible heat and the latent heat, and it's all about the melting and solidifying of materials. So from the definition of latent heat and sensible heat, it's quite like we can relate with the temperature energy content. So it is a catalyzed latent heat of fusion, and during the melting process, the PCM absorbs heat energy from the surroundings, causing the materials to change from a solid to a liquid state. Conversely, there should be a freezing state also, where the material change from liquid to solid. So in this thermodynamic changes, in the state changes, we have a latent in the form of the vibrations in the molecules of different materials. So this is a very good term for the lattice vibrations or the vibration of molecules. It's called phonons. So it's something like this latent heat is absorbed in the terms of phonons in the materials. So we can use this energy to have a quite a stabilization of temperature for we have a solutions from around 2 days to 3 days, or even up to 5 days or 6 days also. So this type of PCM materials can also serve as the passive temperature controlled thing. So it has some latent heat absorbed in the material. So we can use this energy. And we all know about this energy can not be destroyed, not be generated. It should be like transferred from one form to another. So we can use this energy in the form of PCM materials and have an application in variety of fields. So depending upon the compositional things, we have like PCM is classified into basically organics, inorganics, and eutectic. And one of the main type of PCM is the organic PCMs, which are typically derived from natural sources such as plants and animals. Examples of having organic PCMs will include like paraffin waxes, fatty acids, and sugars. And these materials are often inexpensive, non-toxic, and biodegradable. And we can see that it has a high latent heat capacity. So the name suggests it has like organic PSM, so it holds some disadvantages also, like having a flammability, low thermal conductivity in solid state, more expensive than other options because uh, getting the extraction of this from the natural sources takes different processes, and having a purified form is something challenge for the material science development. So next comes the inorganic PCM. So it basically deals with the derived from the mineral sources, typically have higher melting points and thermal conductivity than organic PCMs. Examples of inorganic PCMs would include like the salt hydrates, metal alloys, and ceramic materials. So what I was talking previously about the phonones. So in ceramic materials, this phonon generation is there, the lattice vibrations, which holds the latent heat of the materials. And inorganic materials are often used in high temperature applications such as energy storage and industrial process. And it is like it is something like a mixture of having metallic salt or salt hydrates. So the ability at low cost, high thermal conductivity, non-flammable, high capacity for latent heat storage. So again, everything has advantages and disadvantages. So further disadvantage for the inorganic PCMs is corrosion. The supercooling is observed, a lack of heat thermal stability, prone to degradation and chemical instability. So we need to have a very much stable chemical composition, since it is a mixture of the salt hydrates and metallic compounds. Next comes the eutectic PCMs, which are the mixture of two or more substances that melt at a single temperature. So eutectic PCMs are often used in applications where a specific melting point is required. So Plus has a variety of PCM materials in our portfolio, and we have a tailor-made solutions of having different PCMs which can melt or freeze at different temperatures. So it is a high volumetric thermal storage, and energy density is on the higher side. There's a sharp melting temperature, and again, it has some disadvantage, like strong odor, since we use some organic PCM into it or something, the organic entities. So it's like costly because the tailoring of this PCM needs to be very much precised, and so it's on the cost expensive side, and it has a low total latent heat capacity. So it has something like having advantage depending on the applications. We can go for the organic PCMs, inorganic PCMs, or iterative PCMs. So PCM is something we call it as in a liquid form or a gel form. So or even in the solid form in some cases. So we need to encapsulate this PCM. So it can be done in the form of this type of tabs or pouches or plastic or laminates to prevent leakage and contamination. This process also helps to regulate the thermal properties of the PCM, ensuring consistent performance and temperature control. It can be easily incorporated with various applications like buildings, insulation, refrigeration, transportation, and temperature controlled packagings. So it can be, we can just fill these tabs or pouches and get the PCM type of properties through it. So we can encapsulate this PCM. Even right now, R&D is working with the macro encapsulations or micro encapsulations of this. So we can go for the like application in textile engineering or something. So we will cover that. So where we can use it? So how can they add value to the common entities here? So something like it can be used in thermal energy storage materials. So PCM can store thermal energy during off-peak hours and release it during peak hours, and reducing heat and cooling loads. So in India, we have a tropical climate, and in the northern part or the southern part also has a lot of weather change, or you can say that temperature changes, like how we can feel it. So and the energy cost is like rising on day-to-day basis. So we can have some energy harvesting building material. So having this PCM incorporated in the wall can easily store some energy during off-peak hours and release it during the night time where the temperature is on the lower side. So we have different applications for this PCM. And again, when we are cutting down this energy cost, then our buildings will tap as green buildings. So we can reduce the energy consumption, and we can also have a, like in the old days, we used to have a mud house. And in that case, it has like you can regulate temperature according to the ambient conditions. It's something like we can go for the green buildings. So going back to square one and having this type of buildings can really help in lowering down the cost of lowering the cost of energy. And hence the world is moving around sustainability. So this is the like future of architecture or construction businesses. So the next like the next value addition for this PCM is in the cold chain technologies. First of all, the refrigeration transportation. Uh, we have a lot of perishables with us, which are very much prone to temperature fluctuations, and how we can release a storage, because nobody wants the ice cream to melt or their food to be spoiled in the when there is a no packer of reefer trucks. So a reefer truck is something which maintains the temperature of the payload material using some active solutions like having a refrigerant, and it regulates temperature on the energy consumption is very much high. So when we are talking about something beneficial for the common end use, the last mile delivery or last mile solutions, so we don't think that there can be energy or there can be a reefer trucks possible there to store it for 2 days or 3 days. So there comes the we use the latent heat of this PCM to have this to regulate the temperature for whatever range we want, and we can help in uh, maintain the temperature for quite long time. So we can it can also add to the sustainability part, because we are managing the resources and uh, like not able to spoil it. So second option is the cold storage. So we know that we don't get like vegetables in all the seasons and everything. So we can also use this PCM technologies to have this in the cold storage facilities and reduce the energy consumption, because once it's get charged in a certain temperature, and it can retain this energy towards 5 to 6 days. So it can improve the temperature stability. So something like when we are talking about the passive cooling or passive uh, to have a temperature which where we have no refrigerator or a chest freezer with us. So in this case, we can use this. One of the finest we can see that in the application of the vaccine transportation. So we can have insulated shipping containers. Right now, in the last or like in the last 5 years, we have seen that a lot of vaccines are getting developed during our COVID and everything. So these vaccines are very much temperature sensitive. The efficacy of the vaccines or drugs depends upon the temperature on which they're stored. So there comes the cold chain technologies using this PCM material. And this what happens, we used to have that like the polio vaccine drive in the villages, and the person carries the container with them and to give the vaccinations. So to maintain that temperature, that last mile in the village areas or something like where the no possibility of the cold chain. So we have this type of insulated shipping containers or like thermal packaging, which helps in maintaining temperature throughout the like 5 to 6 days, and get the temperature maintained in the vaccines or drugs for the last mile application. So basically, uh, it was there in the form of dry ice, or I can say in the form of ice in the conventional solutions. But we can't have a complete control for the ice melting. We can't have the control of the ambient conditions. We can't have the control at how much a dip temperature can go when we use the application of dry ice. So we have a more controllability of this like the melting or modifying of materials in the form of when we use the phase change materials. So basically, it can be used for the pharmaceutical and healthcare and the product for production also. Like when we store this pharmaceutical product for like 4 to 5 days, we can use these sharp solutions. In the case of food and beverages, like I was talking about the ice cream, or even we have very like innovative application in the field of like defense also, when our brave soldiers are serving the country in the very remote areas, and they basically need some food supply. So we can use this, and there we have cold chain like cold chain facility on the top of the mountain, that's 2,000, 3,000 feet above the sea level. So we can have this type of solutions which can help to maintain the food throughout the lifetime and reach us soldiers on the fresh mode. So it can be helped in the perishable food transportation, and also about the frozen food storage. Like this time, we have a lot of cold chain technology based, like ice cream delivery. Uh, I'd request to like mute your mic. I think it will disturb the other audiences. Okay. So the frozen food storage in the form of like we have the ice creams. So nobody wants their ice cream to melt. So it's a perfect solutions. And in fact, we can see in the common like now different startups are also using this type of solutions to have the last mile delivery to your home. That the chocolate didn't get spoiled or your ice cream didn't get spoiled. So it's something which is like budding in the field of like all these startups food delivery applications. So it comes the something. The next is when talking about the sustainability. So energy efficacy is the thing which the world is moving towards, and is something like HVAC as heating, ventilation, and air conditioning and refrigeration. So conventionally, we had a solution of different uh, conditioning system, in which we have when the light when the supply is off, the temperature maintenance was a challenge for in the earlier times. But right now, every like refrigerator has a claim for that it can manage temperature for 4 to 5 hours, even the power goes off, or it can cut down your electricity cost by 20 to 30, 40%. So they're not increasing the amount of energy to be supplied to the refrigerator or air conditioning. They're trying to manage that heat which is generated towards it. So it's something like it can be used for the like chillers or heat pumps, and the patients can be used to enhance the efficiency of chillers, and it can also store the energy to it and provide the energy when the power supply is not there. Even in the case of air conditioning systems, PCM can be integrated into AC systems, reduce energy consumption, and improve the cooling performance. So we can store this energy and give this cold when there's no electricity supply, or run down the cost for the electricity, or the the coolant where it is exhausted to it. The third is having a solar thermal systems. To what does the solar panels really do? It just absorb the energy, store it, and give in the form of the electrons or something. So we can store this thermal energy when we have the radiative thermal panels, in which the solar cells are like coupled with this type of PCM materials. It also gets charged. Even we have the electrical energy also, and we have the thermal energy too. So it can be used in the different applications, like for the rooftop water heating or something. And secondly is the solar power systems, and PCM can be used to store thermal energy generated by the CSP systems, what I was talking about. So this is the picture of the chest freezer, which we see in different shops also, and like we see in every morning, if the milk pots are kept in this type of energy sections, the ice creams are also stored in this. So we can have this PCM pouches on the copper grid, and we have the of material, which is the insulation one. So what will happen when there's a power supply? This PCM pouches will get charged, and when there's and help in the maintenance of the temperature of the perishables kept in the chest freezer. So when the light gets off, or if you switch off the power supply, then this PCM pouches can easily irradiate the energy and maintain temperature of the whatever material is kept inside it. It can be your food or ice creams or anything. It can maintain temperature at a very low cost. So this type of PCM has a lot of advantages, and even in the field of aircrafts and aerospace, or the most burning field is the EV. So electric vehicles can also improve the battery thermal management systems. So whenever there is energy, how to store it and how to have a recycle mode of this type of energy, PCM plays an very eternal or very like important role to it, and it is always recommended to save energy, and how we can store it is also a challenge to it. So this PCM material has a very much like value which is yet to be explored in different fields and different assignments. So the next is the application textiles. So when we're talking about the PCM having this type of thermal storage and everything. So for the common use for the clothing and apparel also, it is one of the most hot research topic to how to integrate this PCM in the textile industry, and it can help us like the purpose of uh, like preventing our soldiers or the outdoor construction personnel who are working in the hot day, summer light, how we can regulate their temperature. So this type of we can describe this in the form of clothing and apparels, which can be like for the regulating the body temperature and providing warmth in cold conditions and cooling in hot conditions. So we have, I have shown the graph on the in the previous slides that we can use the both of energy when it's going from solid to liquid or liquid to solid. We can have this latent heat into us. So it will serve both the purposes to keep the individual cool when the ambient is hot, or hot when the ambient is cooled down. So it will help in the thermal regulation. So the basically in the outdoor gears. So PCM can be used in outdoor gears as jackets, hats, or gloves to improve thermal comfort. Right now, textile industry like is moving. When we walk into the store of any sports-based, like for example, decathlon, so they have different temperature maintenance-based fabric material to it. If you want to have a minus 10 degrees Celsius maintenance, like ambient condition jackets, they have different type of textile material, like minus 15, different type of textile materials. So there comes the insulation materials a part of it, but there also comes the PCM materials in the picture. So like when we are traveling to different tropical climate or different zones, so it will really help us to maintain temperature towards. So third is the sportswear. So it can be integrated with the sportswear to enhance athletic performance, because we know that the body temperature plays an important role when we go on with the performance of an athlete. So there we can integrate this PCM in the sportswear, and it can help the limiting the factor of muscle soreness and everything. As you can see in the cricket also, different player wear patches when their muscles get sore or something. It regulates the temperature, and it then it regulates the blood flow throughout the muscle or tissues. So it's something like we are using in our regular day-to-day life, but it's all about having the technology embedded so that we can have a purpose to it, and how we can help to uh, minimize the effect or have a good life with all the energy efficiency. And the next is the industrial apparels. It comes with fire resistant textiles. So PCM can be used in fire resistant textiles to absorb or release heat and reduce the risk of burn. What will happen? It will help as a protective layer for the industrial workers who are working at very high temperature, like in the condition of blast furnaces, or where the metal is forced at very high temperature and sintered at very high temperature. So there we can have this type of gloves or wearables. We can easily cut down this temperature effect to like help us to stop to for the damage or any personal damage. And the second is the medical textiles. So we have, I was talking about the sportswear also, and we have the like bandages or wound dressing to provide thermal therapy. So even if you can see that in India, we have that thermal packs or pouches to regulate the body temperature. which are used by both male and female student athletes, and it really helps to maintain the body temperature or the blood pressure throughout the body. So it can provide you a very good thermal comfort also. And secondly, to the home textiles, when we walk to the stores, we see that this blanket is having a temperature, it can work on the ambient condition of 20 degrees, 20, -20 or -15. So even the bedding and mattresses are coming with this feature of phase changing material. And it can also be integrated with the bedding and mattress to regulate body temperature and improve the sleep quality. So everyone at the end of the day, after having their bread and butter, wants to have a good sleep. So they can't have that AC running on 16, 17 or 20. So why not having a very good technology which can have in the bedding and mattresses? So it is something like one of the fields in which PCM is employed, and it is serving its purpose in our common life. And it's really a material which can be researched in upcoming days. And the second is that when we have building materials, we can also use this type of PCM for the curtains and upholstery. So it can really help us to reduce heat gain and heat loss and improving energy efficacy. So when we are talking about the like benefits for the thermal comfort, energy efficiency. So energy is something like we are using it for, like, from the start in the morning, we are using it for the storage of food. There is PCM. Then we are going, whatever we are wearing, there's a PCM. We can have an like application of PCM there. So it's something like it has a value and which we are yet to be explored on a larger scale, and it can also act as a sustainable sources. In fact, we can have a safety measures also. We can improve the performance of different devices or different freeze regulations. So it's something like we can easily have different approaches where we can use this PCM. So it's something like the thermodynamic property of PCM has to be employed, such as their melting temperature, specific heat capacity, thermal conductivity, which plays a crucial role in determining the performance in various applications. And for the melting temperature, it determines the temperature range at which it can absorb heat release energy. So the application depends upon the phase transition temperature of that PCM material and everything. So whenever you see some energy is getting generated, so when we think about storing it, so there comes the example of this type of textile materials. So we have to be like explore these materials, and in the upcoming sessions given by different experts, you will get to know about the different applications where PCM can be employed. And secondly, how we can different fields like climate technologies, as like Vishnu was showing in his previous slides about the life sciences and healthcare, so your temperature control boxes, thermal batteries. In fact, one of the most common example was having a medical device to regulate the temperature of a baby, newborn baby, when there's low on oxygen level. We can regulate body temperature and have this type of PCM. So we have different applications which will be covered in the upcoming sessions, and these are the few having a glimpse and having a flavor of PCM materials in different fields, how they can add value and everything. So that's all from the application side. So I know the PCM will be having a lot of questions to be there because the first session. So we can have these questions or having a deep knowledge about it. So over to the person. So that's the intro from my side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session. Now it's open to the participants. You can unmute your mic and you can post any questions to the expert if you want to get it clarified. It's now open to the participants to question and answer session.
I think PCM is something which is very much known in the faculties, and is something like a refresher to all the faculties about the phase changing materials. So we can have the like theories or some your viewpoints where we can use PCM materials. As an industry, we are always looking for the academia point of view, like where we can explore this type of applications or technology.
So dear participants, if you have any query, you can unmute your mic. You can post your question to the expert. He is ready to answer your queries.
I hope this session will help the participants to be more clear about the upcoming sessions in which they have the clear understanding of the thermodynamics of PCM and what are types of PCM when we'll be explaining about the application part of it.
Sir, Amar sir,
Yes,
can
is there
you
audible?
share some basic materials on what are all PCMs and how they are any like PDF documents or something which are shareable to the participant? Kindly share later. I will share them in the group, sir.
We at Plus we have different type of PCM materials in our portfolio. So depending upon the what phase change temperatures you want or what the like the applications to it, organic PCMs or inorganic PCMs. So we have a full portfolio on even on the website of the Plus. We have different type of Plus like the PCM materials. So we can definitely share the information about the PCM portfolio with Plus. So it will be a good understanding to know that what type of PCM can be employed and what are the safety concerns when we're using PCM. So something like we can share these contents to the participants, and even it is available on the website. So under the section of products, some PCM materials. So we can have that.
Yes. So, Dr. Shekhar, I have posted the website for everyone to just access the website. There are a lot of information. I will also post the web link specific to the page, which will take you to technical data sheets. And these are downloadable technical data sheets. And you can also post your queries through the website.
Okay, sir. Great, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Participants, if you have any query, you can unmute your mic and you can ask to the expert. Is ready to take up your queries. We can wait for one or two more minutes. If there is no queries, we can wind up the session. It's now to the participants to come up with queries. You can unmute your mic and you can pose the questions if you have any.
So somebody has posted a question regarding, is coconut oil considered as PCM? So I would like to just add, and maybe Dr. Amar can also add to that. So, the natural form of phase change materials, water, which is considered to have the largest latent heat, has a 0 °C phase transition point. There, and in case of coconut oil, it is also a phase changing material, just like water, but the phase change point in coconut oil would be about 20 °C or about 15 to 20 °C. However, to qualify as a good phase change material, repeatability is something that is very important. Whether it is coconut oil or whether it is water, we need to work on certain stabilizers which will make sure that every time there is melting and freezing, the transition point does not deviate plus minus 0.5 °C. And therefore, a lot of work needs to be done to get to the right phase change material. But naturally formed phase change materials, these are the fundamental examples we take. coconut oil or water. However, like I explained, to qualify as a phase change material, repeatability is and the number of cycles that we guarantee we work on is 3,000 cycles. So each of our phase change materials, they show stability over 3,000 cycles of melting and freezing. Amar, would you like to add?
Yeah, definitely. The reproducibility is one of the types. So we have different materials which goes under melting or freezing. So the definite temperature should be there at what temperature it can start melting. So it depends upon the source to source of the coconut oil also. So you need to very good purification. So what I explained in the types of PCM. So we have that organic PCM with us, and it can also recycled. So what is the basic? Is a low thermal conductivity, and it can be more expensive when we like to have the purest form of coconut oil. So you can see we can easily see the price difference between olive oil and the virgin olive oil prices. So it again comes to the usability and what is working as PCM, and secondly how economical, and getting a purest form of coconut oil or something, and the reproducibility will be might be a challenge for qualifying it as a PCM material. Vishnu, any other queries in the chat section? If you
No other questions have come on the chat section.
If there is no question, we can go for the attendance session. If you have any query, kindly unmute your mic. You can ask the question. Okay, now I request all the participants to switch on their camera and wait for 1 or 2 minutes. We will take a screenshot of the session for our record purpose. I request all to switch on your camera. Requesting all to switch on your camera. Many cameras are not switched on. Kindly request your camera, please. Take a screenshot of the session for our records. Thank you very much. Now the attendance